Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another creative and fascinating woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, Gertrude. Thanks so very much for having me here. My name is Valentina Rebeschini. I was born in Italy, but I've been living in London since 2007. So quite a good 18 years now. And I've never expected to stay and live for so long, but probably that's another story. I am a photographer, a portrait photographer, specializing in newborn and maternity photography. So I've been telling the stories of love, of connection, of many families here in London. And so going back to my story, I was born in Italy. That's where I grew up, where I did my school, my studies, and it started kind of differently from photography, what I'm doing today, because I studied languages. Because back then my idea was to having the freedom to travel, to get to know people and their culture, and being able to communicate. So I studied English, German, and French. That's through the secondary school and high school, and then I continued that as well in university. And then after university, I had the dream basically to go to Australia. My final work, so I studied translating and interpreting. My final work was to translate a book of Aboriginal stories. And so at the end of it, I just wanted to go and visit Australia and go in the outback and see with my eyes what I was reading about. So that was, the biggest trip of my life in terms of experience by myself. I left my hometown, which I love. I'm from a small mountain town, an hour and a half north from Venice, where everyone knew each other. It's a lovely place, beautiful nature, where you can feel connected in every way, but still I felt there was something kind of missing that I was looking for. And that trip to Australia just brought me a completely different vision, and I felt free. And it was 2006, and there were no I had a mobile phone, yes, but there was no like internet connection like we have now with WhatsApp or Skype or so. And I was in my early 20s, so I had an appointment every week with my mum, my parents, to tell them that I was fine. It was such a different world from now, but I felt free, and I I literally was there for a year and a half, traveling and working, of course, on the way to have the money to keep my travel going. But I just went all over Australia, from north to south and east to west and in the middle, and it was amazing. And that's what brought me to London afterwards, because after such a great experience there, I went back to my little town of 800 people, and I felt like, oh my God, I can't stay here. I need to have another little break to figure it out what to do next. And I decided to come here to London with a short-term plan of like 1 year-ish. And yeah, 18 years later, I'm still here. So when I arrived here, I looked for any kind of job that I could do. And I did some work in sales and marketing, but because I have passion of photography, I then bumped into this company, wedding photography studio, was looking for someone speaking Italian because the lab was based in Italy, and it was a perfect match. So I was so happy that I found that job, and I stayed there for over a year, learned a lot, but at the same time gave me the kick to start my own journey, because I was in charge of dealing with clients and with the lab in Italy, but also designing wedding albums. And we were not doing just for the our clients as a studio photography, but also for other photographers. And I saw the work of many, many photographers. And in my genuine mind back then, I was thinking, like, if these people can work, why, like, so could I? And looking back, it's really, really naive. But that's what gave me the motivation to say, okay, I want to try it. And little I knew about setting your own business and running a business with everything that implies. So when I started, I did, like everyone is doing, a little bit of everything. Wedding, people, things, everything and anything, just to get the practice. But because I love children, I decided, okay, I want to specialize in that. And I have to, when I started that, then I dug a little bit deep. And part of that, it was always inside me, I think. And it started, that's where I kind of like rooted back to an experience that I have in Africa, in Malawi. So just before I went to Australia, I had the great opportunity to visit Malawi, which is one of the poorest country in the world. And I wasn't there as a holiday. I was there for over 2 weeks as a guest of a missionary, Catholic missionary, this priest who was not far from where I lived in Italy, set up this amazing structure with hospitals and school. And because my great uncle was a priest, and he needs someone to go with him, and he didn't know English and stuff, then I got the opportunity to go with him. And that was a transformative experience. So if Australia was, the time of my life, like Africa was just the most heart-opening and life-changing experience. And because it wasn't just holiday, that was just, even if I was, really young, early 20s, I just saw with my eyes a reality that I was just seeing on TV and news. But it was beautiful at the same time. So I was living in this missionary. There was a school just outside my door, so I went to visit the school nearly every day, and I had this boy, same age as me, that took me around the villages, so this rural place, the huts. And there, I could see these images of mums and babies, of children. And I have to say, like, every evening I was going to bed with tears because I was thinking, wow, like these people, um, they are so happy. I had a diary and I jotted down some, thoughts, and there was always smiles. And then I had a little camera, like a compact, small, cheap camera that I was carrying around, and I was photographing children and mums, but the children were always around me and with the smiles. And I photographed them and then showing the back of the camera and see the reaction of these children was just priceless. It was just, oh my God, look, like, yeah, it's just made each other happy. And then I spent time with them, sitting down, and we were like coloring and thinking and doing things like that. And that's where, for the first time, I kind of experienced motherhood in a way that I never experienced at home, because the kids were always on the back of the mom or on the front. And I saw breastfeeding
in public, which you wouldn't see anywhere else.
Yeah. So it
Oh.
was just different, a different image. And that's why when I decided, when I went to motherhood photography, I kind of think, well, that was always in me, even if before I was a mother, before I started photography, I kind of planted a seed.
You are one of those people that inspired me to be a photographer. When I read your bio, I could not believe my luck, because your attention to detail is absolutely exquisite, especially the baby pictures that you take. I had one of your books, one of those big coffee table books, for years when I moved to New Zealand, and I would flip through it and get inspiration from it. And I'm telling you, to meet you today is such an honor. I'm over the moon in terms of this connection that we've made, and the story that you're telling of the influence of Africa on you is pretty interesting. So is that what inspired you to create Milk Tales? And how did your journey into motherhood shape that?
Yeah, in a way it is, because so seeing these scenes of mothers with each other, or sitting and breastfeeding and talking, I don't know what they were talking about, but like connecting.
Yes.
It was something that here. So when I became a mother, I struggled with breastfeeding. That's why I decided then to do the book, because it was the biggest pain of my life, and the most struggle. Like birth itself, I had a lovely experience. I had a water birth. I had no painkillers, no gas and air, nothing. Was all natural, and I felt empowering. And then this breastfeeding, it just caught me like unsurprised, because I thought in a way it was natural.
Yeah.
But I wasn't prepared for the pain. No one never told me it was challenging and hard. And that's why I think the importance, like, stories are powerful for this. They're kind of, and I'm not saying that they have to be, negative, but it's just real. The truth is just preparing your mindset differently. If Even if my mum would have, I can't believe she never said anything. She never
Nobody told you.
Yeah, no, she never breastfed, because my older brother was born at 8 months, so a month prematurely, and she had inverted nipples. And back then, so nearly 50 years ago, at the hospital, they had a big machine. She told me that they would try to get the nipple out and then the milk out, but there was just blood. So it didn't go through. And then with me, she didn't even try because she was still traumatized. But that
Yeah.
never appeared in any conversation within my 9 months of pregnancy. Hey, she told me only after, but actually only when I started doing the book.
Yes.
But only like if I knew, like, okay, well, it is a natural things to do, because of course,
Mm,
it's nature, like animals do it, and
yeah.
we grow this way, but it's challenging, it can be painful, and it's fine. It's not your fault if it's not going right. You don't have to blame yourself if you cannot do it. Like, you're still a good enough mother. And that's what I
Mm.
feel. I was blaming myself a lot. And when you are in a postpartum situation already, these kind of thoughts of not feeling a good enough
That
mother, or
you're putting
guilt,
out.
just putting yourself down even more and playing on your mental health and everything. So
So, what do you think is the most misunderstood aspect of postpartum life besides the pain of breastfeeding? What else is there?
the most misunderstood, I think, so, just having mothers being heard, and seen, um, acknowledge them, in any way. It doesn't have to be like the breastfeeding or pain, but if they
Mm.
have a feeling, like, as mothers, we have that sixth sense,
Yes.
and you know you can't dismiss it just because, okay, well, just acknowledge and try to empathize with a mum right there. uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, tell me a little bit about what you discovered, or why do you believe that breastfeeding stories remain so taboo or judged in society?
um well, yeah, I wish to have a good answer, but yeah, over the years, I think, uh, the breasts have been over sexualized anyway,
Yes.
so we connect that with breast with the sexual part, where it's actually a completely different purpose, and I forgot the question. Sorry, I'm in that stage of life.
All right, so let's go on to your new book. I know you're working on a new book. What can people expect from this book? What was your focus for the upcoming book? What's the title?
Yeah, so it's Milk Tales, a journey of breastfeeding and motherhood and breastfeeding. And
Right.
it was born as a personal project. So, of course, born from my own pain. And then because I'm working with clients that came with a newborn shoot, it's a
Yeah.
conversation that comes out, of course. And yeah, I found that a lot of mom were struggling and were saying, oh, yes, my God, it's so hard. I'm in pain. I don't have much help. So it was just a recurring story, even years after me. So I gave birth to my daughter in 2011. And I thought, okay, maybe back then there was a bit less information or whatever, but still
Yeah.
today I can have the same conversation. And I was thinking, okay, that's about time to just talk about it. And,
Yes.
and I was thinking, okay, what can I do? I mean, of course, I'm not an expert. I'm not a breastfeeding consultant or anything, but I was thinking, okay, well, I'm a photographer, and
You can tell the
photograph,
story with those
like,
pictures.
photograph have powerful is a powerful tool,
Yes.
that goes beyond languages as well. So
That's
let me
so
take some photos.
true.
And I started by doing some stories on Instagram, saying,
Yeah.
I want to do this thing. I don't even know if it will happening, because I need women.
Yes. You
So
needed the subject.
yeah, so if you are willing to come and have some photos and tell your stories. And I was so proud. I was really scared to do that, because I was thinking,
Right.
well, who's coming here and breastfeed and put the photo. I had I was really impressed by the
So
messages, and
you got a good
coming.
response.
I got a good response, and in this, like the women that I photograph in this book are
Yeah.
24.
Okay.
So all, of course, from London, but they're different cultures, uh,
Yes.
different
So
states.
how did you manage to create a safe space for mothers to share such raw emotional moments with you?
Um, I think that's what I do in every session. Like,
Mm,
so this is my space, which I love. I call it my happy place, and um, yeah, I just try to connect with the person in front of me, starting
yeah.
from a call or an email, trying to understand, having
Uh,
honest conversation, and then, of course, when you met in person, it's just when you just talk and unpack.
mm,
I think it's it's about trust the person that you have in front of
yeah.
you. Um, yeah.
And what has been the most challenging part of putting Milk Tales into the world?
Um, it's still not there yet. That's what is the challenge. It's the publishing itself, I think. So
Okay.
I'm self-publishing.
Okay.
Um, I tried to contact a few publishing houses here in London. Of course,
Yes.
wasn't expecting anything, but I had also a few reply and say, "Oh, this sounds lovely. Good. It's not for us, but good luck." And that was, oh my god,
No,
it was so kind.
fantastic.
Anyway, yeah, because I
Yeah.
wasn't even expect that. So yeah, I decided to self-publish, and I'm doing
Yeah.
it with Amazon right now. But
Okay.
um, because I'm doing it with KDP, which is not a
Yes.
publishing uh, house for photography. I'm struggling to get those images in the book
Okay. To
good
be
enough
perfect.
to represent the work that I've done.
Yeah.
Um,
That's always a challenge.
so
So how
hopefully,
do you? Mhm.
yeah. So hopefully the last.
Sorry, we're talking over each other. So you finish your sentence.
No, yeah, so hopefully the next proof that I should have today, it's good
Mhm.
enough to say, okay, that's it, and the book can go out. Yeah.
You're ready to let it go. So how do you describe? I know that you describe your work as sitting between wellness and relationships. How do those two intersect for you?
Well, relationship, of course, because it's we're talking about mother and child, but also mother with the family. There could be other children or the partner, and relationship within mother and society. There's a lot of different type of relationship. Of course,
Yes.
mother and child being the closest one,
Right.
um, and wellness, because every story that are portrayed, they have to do with how you feel and your mental health and your sense of guilt and failure. So it plays a lot in your mind. So I think it's a yeah.
Asian.
Interconnect quite well within that, and then of course it's a blend of storytelling and
Yes.
the photography. So it's a mix of things together.
So what do you hope Milk Tales sparks in those who read or view your book?
I hope, well, first of all, that help women, um,
Yes.
and that started already because every woman who come here and share the story, they already they were excited to just even help one single person by
Yeah.
sharing their story, but they were feeling also good about themselves, because
Yes.
doing that is kind of self-healing.
Right.
And it was self-healing for me even 13, 14 years after,
Yeah.
because it's just revisiting your own trauma. And so just helping other women out there to feel less alone, to feel that they are not alone in this, and they're fine. It's that they are seen, they have a voice, and
Yes.
if they share their story with their next door neighbor, with their friends,
Mm-hmm.
it's a ball that starts going and spreading, because we need to talk more about that. And we live in a society where breastfeeding is not, well, here in UK at least, like, it's not the priority.
Yeah.
It's underfunded by the NHS and the government, and
Yeah.
women need more support.
They do. They definitely do. So, how do you balance motherhood, art, and entrepreneurship? You're juggling three balls right now. How are you coping with that?
But balance, is that a word? um, it's hard. Of course, business itself is a roller coaster. Like, you have and like motherhood, you have high and lows, and business, you have high and lows, and when the lows are lows, you're feeling really bad. And but then, the highs, you feel so proud of yourself, and that's what keeps you going. um I, I mean, I had a lot of times throughout these years that I was thinking, well, I can't do this anymore, I can't take it. But and then there was always something, and I'm so grateful, even to my husband, that kept saying, I know you want to do this.
Yeah.
That I'm still here, because I would never got this book out or met lovely people that I met. And so, yeah. And family, again, it's another big thing that, of course, impact.
Yes.
Family as a value is one of my first one, and
Okay.
my daughter is now nearly 14, and we're navigating through a lot of hard times
Teenage,
now.
right? Yes.
So it's a lot. Balancing, I don't think there is a balance. You find a way to make it work.
Yeah,
Sometimes it works, sometimes not, but
it doesn't. Yeah, that's so true.
balance is hard.
My last two questions for you are a bit of a thought experiment. In the first one, I'm going to teleport you back, and we are going to meet the younger you, the young woman who went into the world of photography, had life experiences that channeled her in that direction. If I could take you back to have a conversation with that young girl who went to Africa, was inspired, you had a sculpture you were going to show people as well,
Yes. uh,
right?
yeah, so this, I got it from Africa.
Yes,
It's a
mother and
beautiful
child.
representation of motherhood, with this long arms reaching the child. And so when I got it, I was 24. I was
Yeah.
not even in a relationship. I wasn't thinking about family, but
Yeah.
this just got
Touch
me.
you.
And
Yes,
and then, now it's sitting in my like in
I
my
love
heart,
it.
just a representation of all my work, I guess, and
Yeah.
how I started, in a way.
It's
Uh,
interesting because I'm from Malawi and I know that ebony wood. My dad's lineage is from Malawi, my mother's from Zimbabwe. So when you showed me that, it definitely took me home. It's just incredible to.
and like when we got married, so I got married 6 years after I went there. I As the party favors,
Yes.
I made, I order, like, through this priest,
Oh,
bunch of like ebony things to give to the guests,
yeah.
thinking
Okay.
I want to give something meaningful and that helps other people. So I just commissioned these things, and they were like little
Oh, it's
bowls or
beautiful.
chests, sets for the best man and brides, made
Exquisite.
something that really reminded me. And
So
anyway,
Africa had a
it's
big
always a piece of
one.
my heart in Africa.
I love it. So the question was, if you could go back and meet the younger you and give her three nuggets of wisdom based on what life has taught you up until this point, what would those three nuggets of wisdom be?
Oh, Um, the biggest one would probably be believe in yourself more. Um, yeah, because no one else believe for yourself. Yeah, so believe in more in what you're doing, and then don't worry about don't worry too much about what other people think. If you are doing something by heart and you really believe it, just do it. And something else, right? um, just don't stop dreaming. Just, yeah, if you have a
Oh,
dream, just try to
yes.
get it.
I love it. Last question is futuristic. This time I'm going to teleport you into the future to meet the 90-year-old you. And she's sitting in her rocking chair, surrounded by her children, her grandchildren, maybe her great grandchildren, who knows? If you could teleport and meet this wise woman who has led you up until that point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
um well, I like the picture that you gave, by the way, like being 90 with grandchildren and everything. I would say I'm really proud of you. You did something great. You create a family that you love. You left behind legacy for other people. You made impact on lives of other people, and I'm really proud of you. I don't know.
I love it. The other reason why I ask women this question, Valentina, is a lot of women don't realize that the wise woman is already in us. She's that voice that makes you make decisions to go and be a photographer because you saw something that inspired you, be a poet, a writer. She's in us already, but we look outside of ourselves for answers and solutions instead of going within and listening to that inner voice. So I play a lot with the energy of who I am becoming. I talk to her. If I get stuck, I go to sleep with a question in my head like, so what's the next step? Tell me.
Yeah.
And then you are in the shower and you get those light bulb moments and you know exactly what to do to execute. So thank you for listening to your wise woman.
I think so. When I turned 40, something kind of shift inside me.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know if it's wiser or whatever we call it. um, I like to think it's wiser, definitely to my
Yes.
20s. But I became more introspective. I started asking more questions. And that's also why, along with my newborn and maternity photography last year, I added also a portrait service for women over 40s, because I
Oh,
think it's important.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's important for women to rediscover themselves.
Yes.
And if you have,
And to celebrate all those lumps and bumps and the changing body, it's a beautiful thing. You've birthed these children, your body has changed to go with that. And it's a celebration,
it is a
not
celebration,
something to
but
be
we are not
ashamed of.
celebrating that enough, because we
No,
are always, oh yes, look at my
my
wrinkles,
wrinkles.
look
Yeah,
at my, I don't know, smile. Well, thanks for having a smile. It's like, oh my god, it's a beauty. And every
yeah.
wrinkle as well, it's an experience, or even scars from childbirth. I mean, they're all part of our stories.
In
And
Africa, we
why
actually say
we-
that your life is etched in the lines on your face. So if you're somebody who didn't smile, you won't have those lines. They're beautiful.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we shouldn't hide or put filters on those things, because that's who we are and
yeah.
what make us now.
I love it. Now, people can go onto this web page that we have displayed at the bottom of the screen and they can pre-order your book.
They can go on that page and find out a bit more of what the book
Okay.
is about.
Awesome. Yeah.
They can subscribe to a mailing list where they will
Yeah.
know when the book is out. I don't
Okay.
have a pre-order yet because I don't even know if I'm happy with the one. So, but
Love
my
it.
idea is to get the book out for the end
Okay.
of July, because the first week of August it's the World Breastfeeding Week. So I think it's important
Fantastic.
that it's getting out then. But
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming online today and inspiring us with your story. I get very few creative women. And like I said, when I saw your name and I read your bio, I just couldn't believe my luck. So keep on inspiring us. Women should really tap into the creative side of themselves, and not enough of us are doing it. Thank you for your work.
thank you so much, Gertrude, for having me here. It was such an honor, and yeah, our lives kind of connected in different ways.
Very magical way.
Yes, we've been. So yeah, it's a very honor for me to be here. Thank you.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We're a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share our stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are a young mom who is going down the route of breastfeeding her baby, here is a series of books that can give you inspiration to step into this role and enjoy and celebrate motherhood. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And Valentina, thanks again for the interview, but don't go away.
Thank you.
Bye for now, everybody. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.